All right, so I believe this will be our last video here talking about, probably for the most part, talking about Excel and what we can do with it. So we're going to finish up looking at lookup tables. So we just got done looking at the rates that we were able to use using the lookup table because we had 5 different options for rates. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at, we're going to calculate the employee's bonus based on the number of years that they have been with the company. So you can see that we have the number of years that they've been with the company over here. So we're going to figure out what their bonus is going to be, and all of that information is down here. All right, so if they've been with the company for less than 5 years, they don't get a bonus at all. If they've been with the company from 5 to 9 years, they get a $100 bonus, 10 to 19 years, a $150 bonus, and over 20 years, they get a $200 bonus. So we're going to have to add all this stuff up and figure out what they're going to end up with here. So we have to first create our lookup table based on this information. Again, the information that is over here is just too much. Excel's not going to know what to do with it. So we're going to create a lookup table, and again, it doesn't matter where we create the table. I'm going to create it just off to the side here, kind of underneath the other one that we made, just to make it easy to work with. Now before, we went ahead and it was one number matching up with one number. So level 1 was 10, level 2 was 12, and so on and so forth. Now we don't have that anymore. We have a range of values. So we have 0 to 5 years means that they're not going to get a bonus at all. So 5 to 9 years means, it is translating into something I don't want. So let's get this. I'm going to just change the formatting to this and set it to text. Or actually, I don't want it to be text because they're all numbers. No, they're not numbers. They're going to be there. Yeah, let's set it to text for right now. It's fine. So again, 0 to 5, no bonus. 5 to 9 is going to be a $100 bonus. 10 to 19 years is a $150 bonus, and anything greater than 20 years is a $200 bonus. So what we're going to do is, when we're using ranges, again, this is still not an appropriate lookup table. Typing in ranges like this is still going to be too confusing, and Excel's not set up to calculate using this table. So we have to make some adjustments to it. Ultimately, over here, we can only have one number. So what we end up with is we end up putting a single number inside there. The single number that we want is we have to put the smallest number for the range. So if we're using ranges, we're always going to put the smallest number over here in the range. So in this case, from 0 to 5, the smallest number that we would have would be 0. All right. Then from 5 to 9, the smallest number obviously is going to be 5. From 10 to 19, the smallest number is 10. And then over here, the smallest number that we have is going to be 20, because we want anything that's bigger than 20. So it's very important that when we're using lookup tables with ranges, that our lookup table is sorted from the smallest to the biggest. Otherwise, this is going to get all sorts of messed up. So we've got this all set, and now that these are all numbers, I'm going to reselect these cells, and I'm going to change them back to numbers. For some reason, this is acting up. So let's see here. Number stores text, convert to number. So we'll convert them all to numbers, and I'm going to get them so they all have, let's see here, I want to make sure that they don't have any decimals with them, just to make it easier. So make sure that they're numbers, and make sure that there's no decimal places. Click OK. So I just clicked on the little box right here under the number, this number block, if you will. So now our lookup table is all set. Just like we did before, I'm going to come back to the Formulas tab. I'm going to go ahead and define a name for it. Again, it's going to make it easier to work with later. So we got to come up with a name. So this is our bonus lookup. So let's go ahead and just call it that. Bonus lookup. Alrighty. So now we're going to come back up here, and just like we did before, we are going to use the VLOOKUP function. So we're going to come to more functions, double click on VLOOKUP. Now the value that we want to look up is going to be the number of years that they've worked with the company. So we're going to use cell E3 as our lookup value to start off. The table that we want is going to be the bonus lookup that we just created. Make sure that we type it right. You'll see that the values come across here, so everything's looking proper. And then from there, where is our final answer going to be? Which column? Is it column 1 or column 2 where our final answer is? In this case, our final answer is in fact in column 2 again. So most of the time when you're using a lookup table, especially these standard lookup tables, your answer is going to be in column 2. So this third value is pretty much always going to be number 2. Pretty much. There's another example where we can use bigger lookup tables, and it does change there, but those are very uncommon. So, all right. So there we go. So we got everything set up. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. This person's only been with the company for 3 years, so they don't get a bonus right now, which makes sense. So I'm just going to click and drag to copy this formula down, and we can go ahead and take a look and see where everything matches up, just to double check. It's always a good idea to kind of spot check your results to see if everything works out. And everything's looking pretty good. It looks like everybody's where they're supposed to be. So the last thing I'm going to do is just going to be, this is really just a recap of some stuff we've done in the past, but I want to make sure that I calculate their total pay to figure out how much their paycheck is going to be. So I'm just going to use a formula. So I'm going to do an equal sign. And what I have to do is take their number of hours worked. I'm going to multiply that by their rate of pay, and then when that's all said and done, I'm going to add their bonus to it. All right. Now, based on the order of operations, I don't need any parentheses because multiplication is going to happen first, and then the addition is going to happen. So order of operations is really important. If you haven't been paying attention to that and you haven't been putting parentheses around, it can screw up your formulas real bad. So make sure that you are paying attention to your order of operations and making sure everything's being done in the right order. So, we have the multiplication, then the addition, and everything should be good to go. So we can go ahead and copy that formula down, and we can figure out, boom, there's everybody's total rates of pay. That's how much their paychecks are going to be. So we're good to go. So there's your crash course in lookups, and kind of finishes us off with formulas in Excel. So again, give this a try. In this lab, we do a project that's going to be coming up where you're going to be using this stuff as well. So make sure that you've got everything ready to go, and we're set.